said don't do crystal meth in the bathroom all night long.
That's my opinion!
He will never emotionally fulfill you.
Because I don't want to be a part of it.
Go to sleep! Go to sleep!
Close your legs to married men, trash box.
I'll tell you how I'm doing. Not well, bitch.
Who gonna check me, boo?
Welcome to Morally Corrupt, emphasis on the T, a show here on the Ringer Reality feed. I'm Rachel Lindsay. She is Chelsea Stark Jones. Let's get into it, Chelsea. We have a lot of news to cover. I feel like last week we said it's a slow week, and they said, hold on a second.
Hold my champagne flute.
We're coming through.
Yes.
So a lot going on, and what I would like to say I appreciate is we're getting a lot of BTS with filming.
Mm-hmm.
Now, shockingly enough, as much as filming is done for Housewives, I feel like we don't normally get the behind the scenes of it. In Bachelor World, at least when I was more in tune to it, I feel like there are always people submitting pictures and filming, and you don't really get that with Housewives when they're in such public places. I don't know why.
I see it sometimes. I do think it depends on the franchise. I think the best season, and it goes to say, leaks, I think, could be horrible for a season.
Mm-hmm.
What they did in Salt Lake with the Monica Garcia, we knew absolutely nothing going into that season. So it made the payoff of Monica being reality Von Teese, that much more exciting. Even when they were at BravoCon, we noticed the whole cast wasn't talking to her, but for what? Why? It was so that was so great. So sometimes leaks are interesting, which the ones that we're talking about today I find to be fascinating. But other times they really could ruin the outcome of a season.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we should look at, that season of Salt Lake as the shining star, an example of what we want from a franchise. We don't need Housewives leaking to the blogs and doing all that stuff. That's when it gets messy and it gets so uninteresting. And it's also when they start to elevate these, abstract Bravo creators, again with Salt Lake this past season with the Alibaba jewelry line, and this blogger said this, so it's we don't need to elevate some of these people. Let's just keep it on the cast.
That should never be your source. The source should not be the blogger.
No.
Okay, diving into that. So we have two incidents where two separate franchises were caught filming, which we love. So in the first one, Salt Lake City, they're back filming again, which it's geez, do these women take a break? And the people caught were Angie K, Bronwyn, Mary Cosby, Heather, Whitney, and Brittany.
Yeah.
Brittany! I don't know if I caught that the first time I was looking at this. We're seeing filming at Saratoga Springs in Utah this weekend. And the interesting part of that is there's no Meredith and there's no Lisa.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's a rumor that Lisa's in contract negotiations, and that could be why she's not with them. Or it could be that it's Meredith and Lisa versus everybody else, which it kind of feels how we left it last season.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like if it is contract negotiations with Lisa Barlow, she really has no leg to stand on because there's 3 other castmates that have been on just as long as she has with Heather, Meredith, and Whitney. So she can't be asking for more than what they're getting. Just based off of also how we know Bravo works. It is very a tiered system. You get more each year. So,
but it varies.
Does it?
Yes. And that, because remember there was something where it's which housewives make the most?
Yeah.
And remember Candy made almost $2 million?
But she was on it for so long.
I don't think they have it, because that's what I was going to ask you. I know with Southern Charm, it seems that they have a tiered system. You're on for 5 years, this is what you get. Are you in favor of the tiered system, or do you think that based on what you bring and have brought over so many years, that that's what you should be able to negotiate for your pay?
No, because I think, again, it's looking at the cast of Salt Lake, none of these women were famous before the show. None of them had a big platform or following or anything like that. Whereas I think we could look at Denise Richards. I think she was getting $1 million an episode or something crazy, but that was her
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
She was getting a lot of money, but that was her, what do you call it in an episode? Like your daily episode rate or whatever in Hollywood. Like that was what she negotiated in TV before. So like that is what had to be
Oh.
honored for Housewives or
I
something.
don't know, because that sounds like a SAG rate or something maybe that she negotiated, and
Yeah.
Real Housewives is not union.
No. So I don't know. I just don't think that she should be making any more than Heather Gay or any more than even Whitney Rose. Like, yeah, like she hasn't bled out that much for Housewives if we really think about it. Like she's funny, she's witty, she says kooky things. We know she loves Wendy's and Diet Coke or whatever. But like she hasn't, what more have we gotten from Lisa Barlow that we haven't gotten from Kyle, that we haven't
Okay.
gotten from um even Portia or Bethany Frankel. Like we don't know too much about Lisa Barlow's life outside of what she wants us to know. She's very curated in her family life and what she presents to us.
Mhm.
So I don't necessarily think she deserves any more than what, she doesn't deserve less than what the other three women are getting, but they all started together. So she hasn't contributed much more than anything Heather or Whitney or Meredith have.
So I disagree.
Oh, okay.
I think that she has contributed more, and maybe I'm a little partial to Lisa in this regard because I did a panel at Bravo Fan Fest, and I can't remember what the name of the panel is, but it was basically the women who don't hold back and, like put it all out there.
Mhm.
Whatever the word is for that, that's what the panel was called.
Yes.
And one of the things they were saying was on the panel, it is unfair that we are willing to say or go the extra distance and our other castmates can just skate by.
Mhm.
And we're left with the responsibility of bringing it for the season. I agree with that. And I don't think Whitney Rose by any means should be paid what Lisa Barlow is getting paid. Because every year, despite even the Jen Shaw of it all or the Monica of it all, Lisa's always at the center of the drama. And yes, I agree with you. We talked about it on Morally Corrupt. I want more of her personal life. I want to see the inner workings of, her relationship with John
Mhm.
and like maybe more intimate moments with her children. Because every time we get one, it seems very staged. Even they seem annoyed.
Yeah.
And they obviously love their mom. But she's always been the center of the drama because she is so chaotic as an individual. And a lot of the drama centers around things that Lisa has said. Let's not forget the hot mic moment, the way that she perceives herself in this group and in society. She brought us Bronwyn. There are things that Lisa brings that the other women aren't, that I'm not saying she should be holding out. Like if you want to hold out and not be a part of the season, I'm fine with that too. That's the risk that you take. But I absolutely think that if you're a housewife that is bringing more, you should not get the same as others who are just skating by. Like if you don't have a lot going on in your life, you shouldn't, maybe that should be what's, the carve out.
Yeah. Do you think she deserves more than Heather?
No.
So I guess like in the tiered system of, because right now it's, because Mary missed a season and a half pretty
Yeah.
much. So it's really just Heather, Lisa, Whitney, Meredith.
I don't think Meredith deserves the same.
Yeah, I think Meredith doesn't give as much either.
I just think that they should be able to negotiate their contracts, or it should be first 3 years are tiered and then, or 5, which is what it sounds like, right? They enter a 5-year contract.
Yeah.
And then you should be able after 5 years. If your show lasts 5 seasons, you should be able to negotiate.
Something more than
absolutely
your
think
other
that.
cast members.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do.
Okay. Well, we'll see. I mean, she also was at South by Southwest, so she could have had previous engagements and also just not been able to make this cast trip.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Maybe.
Did you see her?
I did not.
Ah.
I did not. I saw South by Southwest is it's such a weird thing because it really feels like a festival. You never know who you're going to run into around the corner. An actor, a musician, an author. And you're walking down the hall and you're like, oh, wow, that's so-and-so. Oh, that's so-and-so. Sadly, I did not run into any housewives. There's so many different houses and sectors and it's tough, but everybody's there. Like there were even people on my flight coming back home that I was like, oh. And so I don't think it's bad to say, like Anna Kendrick was on my, is it Kendrick? Kendrick was on my flight.
Yeah. Did you ask her about Blake Lively?
No. But I did note, I bet Blakely, I always say that. I bet Blake flew private.
Yeah.
No. I didn't. I also wasn't sitting near her. So there was that. Okay, the other franchise that was caught filming was OC. Shannon, Tamra, Gretchen, Heather, Gina, Emily, and Katie. Jen, I didn't see Katie.
So they were very publicly caught filming because it looks like they were doing some dog parade.
It looked like it was a part of Mardi Gras.
Yeah.
But they were doing a dog parade.
Yeah. I saw Katie.
They also did not look like they were enjoying themselves. I am shocked. Again, I did not know Brittany was coming back, which I love. I did not know Katie was coming back.
Yes. It's pretty much everyone plus Gretchen minus Alexis. So just a swap. We got some interesting news from that trip, or an announcement of some sorts from Miss Tamra Judge, which is the real standout from this New Orleans thing.
Well, they also looked like they were having a terrible time.
I thought they were having fun. The photo that I saw, it looked like...
Did you see the video?
Yes. Yeah, it looked like Heather, Shannon, and Tamra were like trying to have a good time, like waving this poster around. And then Katie, Jen, and Gretchen looked like they were gossiping. And then Emily and Gina were in the back.
Videos.
Yeah, I'm sure there were a lot. But what I saw looked like a nice moment in time.
Heather looked like she was performing for the camera.
Yeah, of course.
Tamra looked like she was looking around and like what am I supposed to be doing? And everybody else, like Gina was just walking, doing nothing. They did not look interested. And might I add, I would not be interested, and I love dogs. I have 2 of them. I would not be interested in a dog Mardi Gras parade.
I'm just curious it had to have been a charitable element to it, which I don't know. But any reason to go out to NOLA, I guess.
Great idea, but I hope they were a part of Mardi Gras. I hope they were getting beads thrown at them. I hope they were doing what you have to do to get beads. I want more of that. I want a drunken Bourbon Street night.
Oh, gosh.
There's so many more things. I want them to go to like a cemetery, the above the ground. There's so many, the ghost things.
Yeah.
So many things they could do. Okay, but so what you were saying, to your point, Tamra posted a message on Sunday, coincidentally around the same time that this video came out, this BTS, and she said, quote, "It was a long run. When life gives you real problems, this reality shit doesn't make sense. Peace out, I'm out." She confirmed by responding to people on Instagram that she did leave the show while on the cast trip in New Orleans. Andy Cohen, that radio show is so perfectly, it's like a perfect thing.
Yeah.
Because when moments like this happen, everybody's flocking to see what Andy Cohen has to say. So he was, of course, asked about it the next morning on his radio show, and he said he can't comment on what's happening while they film, but to keep in mind that her best friend, Teddy, Tamara's best friend, is going through an incredibly intense health crisis. What are your thoughts? Do you think it's related to Teddy? Do you think it's related to something on the cast trip?
I think it's a mixture of both. When I saw her message, specifically when life gives you real problems, this reality shit doesn't make sense, I immediately thought of Teddy, or her referencing Teddy in that way. And then I thought, I'm sure this has to do with maybe Gretchen or Jen, something teaming up against her and maybe going at her in a different way about something that doesn't have to do with Teddy. So I'm sure she is vulnerable and sad and upset about everything that Teddy's going through, but couldn't take probably what could have been fair attacks on her in that moment and fled. Do I think she's quitting the show for good? No. I think she left the cast trip early. I think production will get her to come back and she will continue on the rest of the season. Tamra is notoriously someone who can dish it but not take it. And she went hard for Shannon last season. She went hard. She always goes hard on all of her cast members. She went hard at Heather the previous season. And when it's given back to her, she recoils. So I'm not doubting that she's going through a hard time with her friend. And, we all are hoping that Teddy is okay and that everything she pulls through and all of that stuff. But I definitely don't think Tamra likes to be the target of anyone's attacks. She acts like she's big and tough, but
for sure.
she can't take anyone going after her.
Yeah. No, she can't. We definitely saw that with Jen the last time. I was looking up on my computer because I was going to agree with you that I really think something happened and she just like pieced out on the trip because she can't,
Take it.
receive it. But I remember reading that recently that Teddy said that when they did the surgery that they found more tumors. And just in the last couple of days, they said that it had spread to her lungs. And that kind of coincides along the same time as the message. So maybe Tamra received this news and was just like, I need to go back home and be with my friend.
I think so. The post came out so Sunday evening. Teddy's post about the cancer having been spread was, I think, sometime earlier last week. So
I'm seeing like 2 to 3 days, but these could be late posts.
Yeah. So I do I definitely am not doubting that she is. I 100% think that her sensitive reaction to whatever they're throwing at her has to do with Teddy. Yes, I'm sure it is surface level and stupid in the grand scheme of things and in life and whatnot. But regardless of if this was going on with Teddy, I think Tamra would have been pissed and ran off and
probably so
thrown these theatrics anyways.
Maybe so. Well,
I can't wait to watch it.
I can't wait to watch it either.
And who knows? Maybe this is her producing the show in another way, hyping it up.
Well, she always does. That was actually my first thought. I thought, oh, they're filming. She's drawing us in that something goes down on the season. But then I saw the Teddy health update, and so obviously our hearts go out to Teddy and her family and everything. But I'm like, that's her best friend.
Yeah,
and coworker.
Yeah.
And so I can't even imagine.
No, it's definitely
hard. And she's so
hard.
young and she's got kids. And so, and going through a divorce. It's just a lot.
She is going through a lot.
Yeah. And so young. Okay. In other news, Jax revealed that he is battling a cocaine addiction, which, I mean.
I don't mean to laugh. It's an addiction.
Thank you. I'm glad he admitted it. He said he's had it since he was 23. He's now 45, which again, I say, I didn't know he was 45. But at the time he admitted this on the interview, he said he'd been sober for 83 days. He hit a breaking point last year, which he described as the hardest of his life, and realized that enough's enough. Brittany gave an exclusive statement to People after this came out, and she said, I'm glad that he finally admitted to what was really going on. For the first time, I can speak openly about the extent of trauma he's instilled on our family over the years. I've tried desperately to help him without success. I pray that one day he completely knocks the addiction. Oh, but I'm skeptical. Wow.
Yeah.
His behaviors are still alarming, and his treatment plan seems to be the bare minimum. Damn, she's not
holding back.
She said, I'm trying to navigate this as best as I can for my son, but every day is still a challenge and very difficult. Jax has caused an enormous amount of damage, and I have very little trust in him at this point. My only hope is that one day he will be a better person for his son. That is what you call no sympathy.
Yeah.
And I'm not mad at it. Brittany was obviously the partner in that relationship. She was subjected to more than we will ever know. There's no way that she could sit down and tell us, okay, day one, this is what happened. And we still wouldn't know what it was like to be in that. We felt personally victimized by Jax by watching him on screen all these years. And particularly the way he was treating Brittany the last years on Vanderpump Rules and even on
The Valley.
The Valley.
Getting upset with her for drinking. God, now we know he's snorting coke the whole time.
Right.
And he's blaming her, calling her a horrible mother and stuff. Ugh.
So I think that her message was tough, but necessary. And she's not going to say, you know what she did for him? She kept a secret all these years.
Oh, yeah. She protected him.
Yeah.
I am not mad at this statement whatsoever. I think it is very honest and it is very real. And she no longer has to protect him anymore. And she mentions the enormous amount of damage that he has done, including to their son. So, as a mother, there's no walking that back. So, go off, Brittany. Her being skeptical of And again, we were skeptical too of what this in rehab that he did in season while they were filming last year. Like, what is that? And it seemed like a short amount of time. And he comes out and so he's saying he's own grant 83 days sober. Good for him. But he got out of rehab a long time ago. So when he came out, did he go back to doing his habit again? You know, so I 100% agree with Brittany. This season can't come soon enough. I need them to do more press. They definitely are getting a reunion this time around. They did not get one season 1. Like they're getting a reunion, and I'm hooked by these people.
Yeah.
Like genuinely hooked.
Yeah.
Obsessed.
Yeah. I hope that Jax is doing this because he wants to be better and hold himself accountable and not because he wants sympathy.
But isn't that the sad thing?
That we even say that?
Yeah. Like it is hard to trust whatever Jax says.
Well, I think Brittany's statement that's kind of the theme of it.
Yeah.
Do this for your family, not for, for people to be like, outward, Jax.
Yeah.
Jax, Tom Sandoval was on Watch What Happens Live, and he said he was aware of Jax's addiction, to which I say,
weren't we all?
Like, okay, Tom, thanks for the insight.
Water's wet.
Thanks for the insight. Yeah. A couple of dark things we just talked about. So, positive note, Frank Catania is married. He married Brittany, the woman we saw him on the show with. They say secretly got married in a small ceremony back in November, I guess because we didn't know, to which I also say, but they're planning on having a bigger one in the future. I think the most interesting thing that came about that is David, Dolores' ex.
Weird.
David, who seemed to love everybody but Dolores, married them.
Yeah. Yeah, it is a do we care thing. I more so am happy for Frankie Jr. He got engaged last week, and that to me is more exciting than Frank Sr. getting. Yeah, and it's sweet. I like Frankie Jr. Didn't know he was dating a girl. She seems great. Dolores, I would be afraid of her being my mother-in-law, but I don't know. She scares me.
Yeah,
she scares me.
I
love her, but like I would be so like on my toes.
I don't think so. I think that she would be really
loving.
Yeah. And like receptive. It's one of those you love, my son loves you, I love you,
Okay.
I think I see her being really warm and welcoming.
I mean, you still haven't watched Traitors, have you?
But y'all just spoiled something for me in this it could have came with a spoiler alert. Honestly, knowing what goes down at the end of Traitors doesn't really spoil it for me. I mean, this is what it is. That's shocking to me that happened though.
Yeah. Spoiler alert. Dolores won. First housewife, first Bravo Leb to take home money.
Okay, spoiler alert. Who else won?
All the faithfuls. So Dylan, Gabby.
Why are there so many faithfuls at the end? Jeez.
They trusted each other. So it was Dolores, Dylan, Gabby, and Ivar, the British monarchy guy.
And how much money did they split?
They split like over 250,000 or something like that.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
So no one turned on each other in the end?
Not in the end.
Like what happened last season?
No, they all, obviously they made it seem like someone was going to turn, but they all trusted each other. They thought Dylan might be a traitor, but he wasn't. And so, yeah, so they all
interesting.
Put it in.
Other news.
Yes.
This has been sweeping the internet.
Yes.
This has been everywhere.
Yeah, I'm actually really surprised by how much traction it has.
Yeah, so really in TikTok. So if you spend some time over in TikTok, you should be aware whether it's on your algorithm or not. Like you've been forced to see it. All this controversy surrounding Leva and her husband Lamar's new bar, restaurant, whatever it is. So they opened up a new restaurant in Charleston called Zachary's Daiquiris, and it went viral because an influencer put on social media her experience waiting in line to get into Zachary's Daiquiris and what she witnessed as the security not allowing Black men to enter based on their attire. Now, this is not a new thing. I've experienced this firsthand in Dallas. I've been with Black guys. They wouldn't let them in. There were people dressed way more casual than they were, and they would let them in. So this is not a shocking thing if it happened, but this is alleged to have happened. So she makes a TikTok about it, and it blew up everywhere because then other people started to come out and say, hey, that's happened to me before too at one of their other restaurants, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Like other people started sharing their stories. about wearing Jordans. And one review said, "We came as part of the opening night event, and we were excited to try this new restaurant. Unfortunately, we will not be returning." After they got their drinks, the bouncer came and stood directly to a group of Black men and informed the line that there was now a new dress code that prohibited ripped jeans, athletic wear, and Jordans, which all of the men that had been targeted were wearing. After seeing the outfits that were allowed in previously, it was obvious that there was no dress code, but that this was a move to prohibit a certain group of people from entering the restaurant. The review says they confronted the bouncer who made the comment, and they were told that the comment was coming from management, and they said that was disappointing. Now, for those who don't know, Leva is, what's her ethnicity? Lebanese?
Yeah, yeah, she's Lebanese and her husband is
and her
Black.
husband's Black. Then there have been more people on TikTok who have said other things, and Leva and Lamar have both made statements, but they are kind of unhinged.
So they completely are trying to dispel this claim. One of the things that I don't know. I like Leva, and it's hard
too.
for me to imagine that this was a purposefully targeted thing. She explained on her TikTok, but she also deleted the post, that Zachary's is open for the public day and night. It's a day to night bar. The daytime, there is no dress code. And that the event that they were having, the grand opening or whatever, there was no dress code for it. She explained, if you are in the establishment past 8 p.m., which is when the dress code is enforced, and you're wearing the Jordans or Crocs are also on the can't wear after 8 p.m. list. If you're wearing those things, we're not going to ask you to then leave the restaurant because you're already in the bar at that time. But at 8 p.m., if you're coming into the bar as a new visitor to the restaurant, bar, whatever, then the dress code is enforced. So the statement that this TikToker made was that they saw other people in the restaurant, in the bar, wearing these Jordans or things that were against the dress code. So like, to then say, but now you're not letting anyone in. That's how Leva explained it. So if it's 8 p.m. and you're already in the bar from like 5 to 9 and you're wearing Crocs, they're not going to kick you out because you're wearing Crocs. You're already there, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of understood that. Like, if those are their rules and those are their things, and that's their rules and their things. I will say, when I watch Southern Hospitality and they talk about Republic having a dress code and people coming in dressed to their best and looking nice and stuff like that. I don't think a lot of the people that go to Southern Hospitality or Republic, when they're filming Southern Hospitality, look their best and that they're dressed to the nines and stuff like that. So I don't know. It's hard for me to reconcile this. It's a very much a he said, she said thing. And I trust Leva and Lamar more than I do this TikToker.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure, but you're grinning. What do you?
Well, no. I'm listening to what you're saying. Apparently the TikToker has had other issues with other restaurants. So that's something that they're saying,
yes,
this is just what she does to get attention.
To get clicks. That was Leva's claim.
I will say I don't like it when I didn't get that from her. And I'm not saying that this didn't happen, but it seemed like, one, she did want the attention for it. So when she made the video, but she also wanted to praise herself as a white woman for taking up and doing the right thing for Black men that were targeted.
Mm-hmm.
There's something about that feels off to me.
Mm-hmm.
But what I will say on the end of Leva and Lamar, you guys need a publicist. You should not be. I understand when you feel personally attacked and you feel that it is what's being said about you is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you want to defend yourself. I would immediately want to as well. But you making statements where you're cursing and saying all these things,
mm-hmm.
it takes away from the professionalism of it all. You're getting down in the dirt with, the people writing these comments or making these videos, which to me, you're above it. Hire a PR company and get them into it. You're drawing even more attention. That's why I think that this went so viral. It's not because this one TikToker did this video. It's that because Leva's on a show.
Yeah.
But it's also because the owners, started responding. It's one thing to say, hey, it's hurtful for me as a Black man who grew up in Charleston, who always wanted a restaurant on this street where I spent so much of my time and have beautiful memories with my grandmother. It's really hurtful that people think that I would do something against my own people.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yeah.
But like to attack people personally and start using curse words just takes it to a whole nother level. The other thing I will say is on Zachary's Daiquiris, I'm looking up their dress code. That's what I was doing on the computer while you were talking. And they talk about after 8 p.m., this is our dress code. And it says athletic wear, gym attire, ripped, frayed, patch jeans, jerseys, graphic tees, tank tops, hoodies, Crocs, slides. That to me isn't targeted to one specific group. That is basically don't be sloppy and casual. Like, step it up when you come at night. But then I saw a TikToker talk about Republic and what they have. And Republic has a dress code as well, which is more of, it's nicer.
It's supposed to be a nightclub.
It's a nightclub, and it adds pretty much the same things. The fact that it says shower flip-flops is wild. What's going down in Charleston? Like, Chelsea, we know that ain't us. I mean, what? But it says Jordans of any kind and high-top athletic sneakers. So here's where I have an issue. And this is what some people had an issue with them too. Yes, everybody wears Jordans, but historically, Jordans are targeting a certain group of people, and that's Black men. And when I reference what I've experienced with racism in Dallas, Texas, not Charleston, of not letting people in, it was because mainly Black men. It was Black men wearing Jordans. High top sneakers aren't allowed, but low tops are. So I can wear Keds.
Yeah, so that's what
I can wear Keds to this. Like, which one? Just say sneakers. Just say no sneakers are allowed.
Yeah.
Because I can wear an outfit with Jordans and it actually be cute because Jordans can be worth thousands of dollars.
Stylish.
But so I can wear Keds.
That's what I mean.
I can wear Sambas.
When I watch Southern Hospitality and I see the patrons in the background of Republic, I'm like, that girl's in a sundress and like flat flip-flops. Like what? Like that's not like a upper what you would wear going out type of a thing.
Yeah.
It's a very mixed bag, I feel like. And maybe does it say what days the dress code is enforced?
This is Republic.
But
So
is it every day?
This is that all the time.
Because like I'm like maybe it's just for the Friday Saturday crowd where you have to really come. But like sometimes I'm looking at them, I'm like that looks just as sloppy to me as I don't know. So
I can wear, you know what I mean? Like you can wear Sperry's.
Yeah.
Which is how they, like they dress in Charleston.
Yeah, the boat shoes.
I can wear Sperry's, but I can't wear Jordans. This is where it's like
the fuzzy.
And Lamar, like you should know better what this dress code looks like. And if you don't, then you're out of touch.
Yeah.
And like I think that, and again, I like Leva. I went to Bourbon and Bubbles.
Okay.
Bubbles and Bourbon, whatever it's called.
Maybe it's Bourbon and Bubbles.
When I was in Charleston, and she was great and she set us up and all the things and like couldn't have been more lovely. I'm looking up to see if they have a dress code too.
I would imagine they do as well.
But this doesn't look good. And what I would suggest is maybe stop being so defensive, which I understand why you would, and maybe sit down with the community, because these people are on y'all. And I want to see your restaurant succeed, because I obviously don't think that they're racist people.
Yeah.
But you need to to get on the right track.
Yeah. I do agree with you. Where it went viral was with them interjecting in a way that did seem unhinged. I mean, if you post a video and delete it like that, that's the ultimate, like, don't ever do. If you're going to post something, just leave it up. So yes, having a very clear, concise, one-time statement probably would have been the best way to go about this. And then just to ignore everything else.
Yeah. I mean, good luck to y'all. Y'all just opened. I mean, you're getting attention.
Yeah.
But not the attention I'm sure that you want to get.
No.
I was trying to see like reviews. I was trying to see. They don't have bad reviews on
Well, apparently it was like a Google reviews account that
the Google reviews
was
is
created.
3.8. I mean, there's only 21 reviews.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Hold on. My curiosity is getting the best of me. Let me just look at Yelp really quickly. 1.4.
Oh no.
On Yelp.
Oh no.
They just opened up.
How many
Now it's
reviews?
only 29 reviews, but it says that Yelp, this is a Reddit post that says Yelp disabled their comments for Zachary's daiquiris due to an influx of activity.
Oh, so they're getting the, like, what was it, Schwartz and Sandy's treatment? Remember when?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's
I,
unfortunate.
I, I don't know if that's what people should be doing, but, good luck, guys. Good luck. Good luck. Okay, so we are now going to do a little recap, a light recap on Real Housewives of Atlanta because it premiered this week. So that is big news. We're getting some of the greats back, as in Portia. We know later Phaedra joins us. We are getting new women. And I'll start there because this is an episode where they're laying down the foundation for what's to come, what's new, who's with us, who's not. And so, of course, we're catching up with the women. Sometimes some of the women, like Portia, who we haven't caught up with in years, Shamia, who we've always known as a friend of, we knew that she was married. We knew that she'd married rich, but we didn't know how rich. Drew, where she's picking up the pieces where Ralph is. And then we're meeting some of these other new women. Your thoughts on this season? So far, this first episode and what's to come, and your thoughts on the new women.
I have to say I was pleasantly surprised.
Okay.
And I also, with that, will be cautiously optimistic moving forward this season because, you don't often get a good premiere. And this to me was a great premiere, but I hope that wasn't everything.
We got a lot.
First, Shamia, why wasn't she a housewife sooner? Like, she is fabulous. $9 million house. Elevators, shuttled to go down to her closet, extremely rich, $400,000 Rolls Royce for her 42nd or 43rd birthday. Not even at like a milestone birthday, a one-off. Beautiful family, funny. Like I can't imagine why. And she was also friends with Candy. So like, why was she always just a friend of? Like, was it her
she
husband?
Didn't always have this wealth,
but she's been married to this man for a minute.
5 years?
Yeah. I don't know. So just curious about that, but love her. I think she's a great addition. And it does seem like they are making her the focal point with the women that they have brought on to the show.
Mm-hmm.
Kelly seems interesting, very opinionated. 17 handbags for her daughter's 17th birthday.
Stupid.
I 100,000% agree. A little bit excessive, but we complain about opulence and wealth on the show, not having enough of it. So grateful for the stupidity of spending, I guess. I didn't really care for Britt, but we'll see.
Which one was she?
She was Kelly's friend that is married to the man.
To the man, the light-skinned man?
The light-skinned man. Okay. Yeah. So didn't really care for her. I did enjoy Angela. I thought she was interesting. I'm looking forward to getting to know a little bit more about her. Had they been married for a long time?
I don't know.
That was something like, were they married like throughout his career?
2016. So no.
Okay.
After his career.
Okay. That's best. I like when athletes get married once they're like done and probably less.
I know. I wonder if she was his first wife. I think so.
Oh, really? Good for him. Like a Derek Jeter type mindset. Like get your stuff out while you're playing, and then hopefully by the time you're done, you got it all out.
I think so.
So yeah, I actually really enjoyed this first episode. I think it has like a lot to pull from. Drew and Hot Dog King, they're definitely boning.
True. This is what I can't with Drew. Like, I don't need the lies again. I don't like. Okay, so
music is his passion.
They definitely are her music partner. We never knew Dennis was connected to music.
Never.
And did this just happen, or was this just left off because Portia focused on him being
the hot dog king?
The hot dog king.
I don't know. She did say on Watch What Happens that he produced a children's album for Pilar, their daughter, but like music is his passion.
Yeah, and it might be, but it lets me know where Drew's career is.
Yeah,
that you're going with somebody, your music partner is somebody who's just passionate.
Yeah.
Drew has, had success in this business, and the fact that that's where she is right now, I'm concerned.
Mm-hmm.
Her talking about Ralph living in the basement, like that's court ordered. What is she said something. I can't remember. I don't know if she said it was court order. However she phrased it, I was like, I don't know if that can happen.
What do you mean?
What I can't speak to it specifically because I can't remember
Well, she
how
said
she
that
said it.
like he to me it read like he won't move out of the marital home.
And he doesn't well, if this is California laws,
Uh-huh.
which it's not a community property state, so no, but I couldn't kick my ex out of the house.
Yeah. So
it seems like he refuses to move, so he chose to live down there. She made it seem like
she made it seem like the judge ruled that he has to stay in the basement and that she can't go down there unless he allows it. She has to be out of the house every couple of weekends, and they have to communicate via that app that I think most couples that are co-parenting and going through custody have to talk through, which allows transparency for the judge to see how they communicate with one another.
That's probably true.
Yeah.
As in, she can't kick, it's their house.
Yeah.
She can't kick him out, so he has to stay there, which I'm sure neither one of them love.
No.
But the fact that the way she was saying it made it seem like he was sentenced to the basement, which I'm sure you can use the common spaces at times. Like, I don't know what that basement looks like.
Yeah, I'm like, does he have a kitchen?
Yeah, like, it's like he's sentenced. He's a separate entrance. She mandated that he stay in the and I'm like, I think it's like he's allowed to stay in the house and you guys have, I don't think that they can say, like, he's not allowed to see you, you're not allowed to see him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it's true.
And that's where I'm like, I guess my whole point in saying that is that's what annoys me about Drew.
Yeah.
And I'm not looking forward to seeing this next season.
Yeah.
Or this season with her. It's like, I don't believe a word that comes out of her mouth. I don't believe her lifestyle. I don't believe her personal life. I don't believe her professional life. I'd rather, if this is the Drew we're gonna get, I'd like Ralph back as well.
Not Ralph.
I'd like
Not
Ralph
Uncle
back.
Ralph.
Never trust a Ralph. I'd like Ralph back. What I do like, to your point about Shamia, I don't care. People are already questioning her wealth and her husband's wealth. I don't care. I want to feel poor watching her. I wanted to see all like what I don't want to watch is you giving your 17-year-old daughter 17 purses. I don't believe that.
I at the end of that, I was like, Mom, I understand her having this restaurant and this waffle empire, but like she's still getting money from her ex-husband, right? Like how does she afford those 17 designer bags?
How about it's not creative? 17 purses because you're 17. It's not creative. Give me $17,000. Give me 17 pieces of stock.
Portia said, give me land. I'm like,
give me 17 acres.
That is a great birthday gift, an investment property for a 17-year-old. Oh,
where are you
genius.
going with 17 purses? like it's just.
What's the resale value there?
It's tacky.
Yeah, no, I didn't love it.
It is. So I'm questioning. That feels very rent, borrow, bag place where, like, I don't know if she still has those 17 purses. But anyways, I want to see what Shamia has. That's what I want to. I like that. I like that she talks about her children, which is probably why we didn't see her over the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Because she was dealing, she was pregnant. She was dealing with health issues for one of her kids. Because even when she was on, she wasn't on that much. Love her telling the story about her bathroom. Ladies, never give up hope. You too can poop your way into a relationship.
Oh, Lord.
Chelsea can't handle these conversations,
I don't like
so we'll leave
talking
it at
about
that.
word.
We'll leave it at that. I don't know if I like her being the focal point because we're learning so much. Like, I'd rather it be a Portia. I understand she's the one who brought in these new women, but one of the women didn't even know, had never even been to her house before. I think it was Kelly who was like, I love your house. It's so, or she said that to Kelly or Kelly said that to her.
Yeah. It does seem like, I mean, for the most part, it seemed like everyone was their first time there. Cynthia, Kenya, a lot of the new women. I thought Shami is great. When she's compared herself to Jamie Foxx, she started with, I see myself as Jamie Foxx. I was like, where's she going with this? It's like,
I like
an
Shamia.
Oscar winner? Like, where are you going with this, girl? I was like, delusional, rich, fashionable, like unnecessary. Well, like this is everything that I need, I think. And like fully transparent on our first episode. We're seeing her family. We saw her husband. Like at first when we didn't see him at the beginning of the episode, I'm like, oh, maybe her husband doesn't want to film. No, he was at the party.
Yeah.
I am happy with this. Yeah, I'm cautiously optimistic. The trailer looked boring for this. The season trailer looked boring.
Mm-hmm.
This premiere is giving me a lot more hope, but I'm being cautious because Atlanta has done this to me before.
Okay. It ended on a great note.
Yeah.
I mean, it ended with the women sitting there. Kelly will not shut up about Portia and Simon's relationship and how they got together. I like that energy.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, like.
It's fair shade.
And Portia saying, what did Portia say? She was like, I don't want to talk to you anymore. I don't want to, however she said it.
She cut it off.
It was so funny. It was so dismissive, but she didn't say anything that rude or that like shady. But the way and that's what Portia's so great on, her delivery was so like, I don't want to hear from you anymore. Yeah. And I'm just going to move. I thought that girl Kelly really thought she was going to come in and route up Portia. Mm-hmm. And Portia's like, I'm sorry, you are? And let me keep it moving. I don't even know your last name. Loved that. Love that we're going to get this sit down, bam, immediately with Drew in the next episode. To your point, it gave me something to hold on to, which is fun. Anything else? We kept it light. Yeah, we kept it light. We kept it cute.
It's. We'll see. 16th season. We'll see how it goes.
Okay, we shall see. One of the things that we've covered a lot on Morally Corrupt on Fridays, we do Southern Charm recaps. Mm-hmm. And each episode is kind of feeling like the same thing over and over again.
It's not a good.
Yeah, I'm ready to hop off the hamster wheel. Give me something new. It seems like we've finally turned a corner in the Shep-Sienna storyline because Sienna's done.
We put it to bed.
They are in the Bahamas. They are leaving the Bahamas. They are leaving this relationship with Shep and Sienna is staying in the Bahamas. Mm-hmm. I still don't feel like we got the full story on that. I do feel like there's been a bit of editing and playing around, but until Sienna can come out in a way that Venita has, I don't know.
Yes.
But nonetheless, it was a big breakup for Shep, who was enamored with Sienna and just completely seemed to be hypnotized and under some sort of trance when it came to her. Meanwhile, she was like, damn near, who are you?
Yeah.
So, in honor of that breakup, and finally putting that to rest, let's go through our top 10 breakups from Bravo's history.
Can we do that? But before we do, I kind of want to come to Sienna's defense.
Please.
Because I've been seeing a lot of discourse online on the TikTok, that's where I spend most of my time, about Sienna having a boyfriend or seeing someone else while this whole Shep ordeal was going on.
Okay.
And it was also discussed on the Southern Charm after show that she was seeing a football player. And everyone on the Southern Charm cast is coming to Shep's defense, which, why? Like, I like Shep, but like he doesn't deserve to be like he's not this valiant man and figure and like stand-up guy when it comes to relationships. But coming to his defense and saying that they feel like she played him. And from what I got from her last, bow out at the Bahamas is that she fully thought they were just having fun. Mm-hmm. She clearly said, we never defined the relationship. We never talked about what we were or anything like that. And when she was going through her little series of this is what happened from my perspective on TikTok, she showed her laptop to show messages that she was having with Shep. And you know how it was iPhone. So like on your iMessage, you have the messages and then to the left, you have who you've been talking to. Mm-hmm. And she showed it. And I believe his name was Levi Wallace. I have no service in here right now, but is former Pittsburgh Steeler or current Pittsburgh Steeler Levi Wallace? Levi something.
There is a Levi Wallace. He is a cornerback for Pittsburgh.
Yes. So he was in her text thread.
Oh, and that's why people
are thinking that is who it was. And it actually had an icon of a photo of them together for his contact photo. It wasn't just like a LW. It was what seemed to be a picture of them.
I thought you were coming to her defense.
Oh, I am.
Okay.
She is fully allowed to date this man.
Oh, but I thought they were saying she was dating him while they were together.
While they were together, making it seem like she was cheating on him or like being
Were they not dating while she was allegedly with Shep?
I think they were dating, but I think she's fully allowed to do, like, if she's a single woman
If she's a
dating
single
multiple
woman.
men, like, she could do that. I think she had her whatever encounter with Shep, and she never felt like things were serious with him. Him thinking that defining the relationship is a millennial term, like, I'm sorry, Shep. Like, no, if you want to be serious with someone, be a man and say, I want you to be my girlfriend. I
Yeah.
want you to be the only person that I see and me to be the only person that you see, and have that conversation. If you don't talk to her like that, straightforward, she's fully allowed to go have dinner and date Levi Wallace or whatever other football player she wants to. Like, she's a single woman. So I just don't like the discourse that I've been seeing of her leading him on in any type of way. Like, if he's not being honest with what he wants out of the relationship, and like, yes, it's nice to hear all these nice words and your cute freckled lips and like all this stuff, but that's not telling me that you want me to be your girlfriend. Like, I need more than that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I think that
You said I thought you were coming to her defense.
I thought you was, guys. It didn't feel like
I
that.
thought it was.
It didn't feel like that. Wow.
I just think she has fair game to do whatever she wants. And they're framing it as if she broke his heart and led him on and did all these things.
Yes, because they have nothing else to talk about this season.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
This is the storyline. And I said it on Friday, but that conversation at the dinner table, I don't believe they were like, well, did you say I love you? And she just sat there like a mute. I don't believe that. I think that they played around with that conversation to fit their storyline, which we know that from Vanita. And we also know that from the women talking about what's been displayed as far as their friendship and what hasn't.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a mess. It's just a mess over there. I really wish Sienna was coming to the reunion, but whatever. Good luck in your NFL relationship. Like, congratulations, y'all. Pittsburgh Steelers. If you're dating this guy, Levi Wallace, you guys just got DK Metcalf.
Yeah.
Like that'll be fun.
I'm excited.
That'll be fun.
No,
I'm not a
thrilled.
Steelers fan, but like that's exciting.
I'm very thrilled. My brother's a Seahawks fan. He's very upset. He thinks
that team is DK had to get out there. You think Normani's gonna go to the Steelers? I mean the Steelers. Is Normani's gonna move to Pittsburgh?
He's dating Normani?
DK is, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Ah, yeah, why not? She can hang out with Sierra if we keep Russell around. They could be in the box together.
Collab.
Yeah.
You'll have to keep Russell.
I think we are. But then I saw something today that
signed. Justin Fields just signed.
I know, but I saw something that we might be looking at Aaron Rodgers, and I'm just like, guys.
I don't think he and Tomlin will get along.
I don't think, like, well, golly, like DK and my boy George Pickens, those two are going to be fighting every week on the sideline about who gets the ball more. My boy Tomlin has done a lot of character development, worked with a lot of personalities. I think he could handle Aaron Rodgers, but I don't want Aaron Rodgers. Like, we don't need another older quarterback. Like, I hope that report's not true. I'm barely happy with Russell. Like, I do like Russell. I like Russell a lot, but I don't know. This is now a sports podcast.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay, let's run through really quickly the biggest breakups we've seen on Bravo.
Let's start from 10.
Okay, 10. Teresa and Joe.
I actually think this one could be a little bit higher, but it was almost like inevitable once he got deported, so it was not like super surprising.
Well, once he caused her to go to jail.
Well, yes,
she went to jail for his transgressions. I mean, there had to have been a level of guilt on her part. She had to be responsible in some way, but yeah, it was the beginning of the end then.
Yeah.
So maybe it's number 10 because it was very obvious that was going to happen. 9, Kenya Moore and Mark Daly. Have they finalized that divorce yet?
I don't think so.
I feel like she spoke to it this episode. Isn't that crazy?
She said
that
it
we
was
did a
still
recap
ongoing.
and we barely talked about Kenya.
I know they are phasing her out because of whatever that incident was.
For sure.
That
For sure.
happened.
I feel like she mentioned that they were still together, but that sucks.
But he seems awful.
Awful. But at least she has her baby girl out of all of it,
Who
which we
is
know
beautiful.
is what she really wanted.
Yeah.
Bethany Frankel and Jason Hoppy. I mean, big breakup because that divorce went on.
Another
and
awful
on
man.
And
yeah.
on. Men suck.
Yeah, no, he's they should be friends, Mark and Jason.
Like, I'm not saying the women don't have some responsibility, but the common denominator in this entire list are awful men.
Mm-hmm.
Shall we continue? Alexis and Jim Bellino.
That one did surprise me because I thought they were just two awful people that would sail off into the sunset together.
I mean, when you look back, I feel like she was kind of like a Stepford wife where she was just saying and doing every single thing that
Yeah.
he did. If he had a gold remote with her name on it, I would absolutely believe it.
Yeah.
The way he was whipped, she was anything he said.
Yeah.
And it's similar to Portia when she was with Cordell.
Mm-hmm.
Because she couldn't go to strip clubs, she couldn't do all these things. She was very much so a Stepford wife for him, and now we've seen her step into her own.
Mm-hmm.
We like hers. Alexis is stepping into her own, sex 4 times a day.
Yeah.
But she did pick another raggedy man.
I did love the Cordell callback in this episode.
Yeah.
Karma's gonna get him in his bubble butt.
Girl.
And it does. Every time I think of Cordell Stewart, who was the Steelers quarterback, I consider him Portia Williams' ex-husband.
Yeah,
I don't look at him as a former NFL quarterback.
That's who he is.
Mm-hmm.
Phaedra Parks and Apollo Nita. I mean, he went to prison. So
that's grounds for divorce.
Yeah. He seemed to not be contributing to the marriage.
From the get-go. And she seemed like someone else, too, that was protecting her man.
Of course.
Prior to it all falling down.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
He was a cute guy.
Mm-hmm.
She got 2 beautiful children.
Mm-hmm.
And, he got a felony. Yeah. And the drama seems to continue over to Married to Medicine with that. And it seems he hasn't changed. Then you have Tamra Judge and Simon Barney.
Mm-hmm.
We saw that one coming if you watched it. I mean, they always had a contentious relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Simon, they did not seem to like each other
at all. And their divorce it's final, but the kids
collateral damage in it.
Yeah.
And she seemed to be, they were just 2 different people, which
Mm-hmm.
can work in a relationship, but he was more straight line, strict. I don't remember if he was religious, but I feel like he just didn't like how wild and carefree she was.
Mm-hmm.
He seemed to want to rein her in a lot. Very controlling.
Very
controlling. Camille and Kelsey Grammer. We didn't see a lot of Kelsey, but we now know that Kelsey wanted Camille to do this show
Mm-hmm.
so she could be distracted. Because he
Mm-hmm.
was super supportive. Loved it.
Loved it.
Meanwhile, he was having a whole affair with the flight attendant, and now they have their own family together.
Are they still together?
I believe so.
Yeah. Hearing Camille tell the story of how she found out Kelsey had another girlfriend.
How did she find out?
So I believe as the beginning of season 2 or end of season 1, she, in a confessional, says that she went to New York, which is where he was filming he was on Broadway, to be with him. And she goes to their front lobby and says, "I'm Mrs. Grammer. I need to go up, or I need something for my room or whatever." And they're like, You're not Mrs. Grammer." And she, "Yes, I am." And they described who they believed to be Mrs. Grammer, which was the flight attendant. And that's how she found out that her husband was having an affair with someone.
Jeez.
Crazy.
And he didn't even fight for it. He was like, "This is the situation."
Yeah.
And then shortly after, we found out that the flight attendant was pregnant.
Yeah. Yeah. So insane.
Tough, because I really like Kelsey Grammer. Third is Kyle Richards and Mauricio Umansky. Officially separated, legally separated, maybe even at this point, not divorced. We're seeing it play out right now. It seemed like Mauricio was in denial at first about their separation. Now it seems like Kyle is in denial about it. They seem to be on different pages, but yet seem to have a lot of love for each other because of the family.
They kind of made me, I kind of thought they would be someone or a couple that would just be together even if they weren't together. Have their own lives going on, because there's so much money included in that marriage. And, they got wealthy together in their marriage.
Yeah.
So I kind of thought that, if anything, they try to keep it, private and have, an open marriage and just do whatever, but stay legally married.
Because they have businesses. They've been together more than 10 years, so he could pay her support for the rest of her life.
Yeah. Which is why I don't think the divorce has been finalized yet.
Portia's still a minor.
Yeah.
So it's she could get child support. She's definitely going to get alimony. They have to split the egg. It
would be far too messy.
Yeah. I will say out of all the breakups on the list, this one was the saddest to me.
Kyle and Mauricio.
I really was shocked.
I was shocked.
Despite the rumors of it all, I really wanted to see that family stay together.
Yeah, because, I mean, we saw nothing but them being a close family the entire time that we've seen them on camera. And they both seem like great parents.
Yeah.
All of their daughters love them, like, raised great children. So, yeah, it was definitely shocking. So, the second one kind of comes as no surprise, but when this whole ordeal happened, Erica Jane and Tom Girardi. It was like...
This is the second shocking one to me.
It was shocking.
Because of what was happening.
Yes.
That he was incompetent, that he had stolen money.
Yes.
That we saw the controlling. We saw him talk back to her. We saw the dynamic of that relationship.
Yeah.
But they didn't divorce because of that. They divorced because of
the lawsuits.
Yeah,
I mean, I think we could all fairly say that we believed Erica would have stayed with that man until he died, and got him the money and lived a happy life in that Pasadena mansion and redecorated it the way that she would have wanted to see it.
Right.
But yes, correct me, we found out that they were filing for divorce, and then shortly after we found out about the lawsuits.
I can't remember the timeline
because it was very close. I feel like so either one happened right before the other. And she did also release the news of her divorce on like election day in 2020 or something like that. Like she really tried to bury it and like do it when no one would be paying attention. And sorry, Erica.
Maybe she did do it.
Bravo
first.
Fans always care about your news.
Yeah,
like,
that's
the election. We vote and then we're back to Bravo.
Yeah, like we need it. You know, we don't want to. We've been dealing with the election. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the whole campaigning. Like we needed something else. That was
a
actually
great
perfect
distraction.
timing. Thank you. Thank you.
Backfired on you, girl.
But who would have known that divorce would cause all of that? And then now to see where Erica is today, more herself, better than ever.
Yeah, I love this Erica. I really do.
Yeah.
And last but not least, I think we started this with being the best Housewives breakup, but this is just the best breakup in Bravo. Tom Sandoval and Ariana Madix.
Yeah.
It will go down in history as the greatest affair. And something that I still to this day think of. I will know exactly where I was when I saw the TMZ article that Raquel and Tom Sandoval were having
Where were you?
an affair. I was, don't look on Instagram and drive, guys, but I was driving in my car on the way to the bank on 3rd Street in LA, and I saw this. I think Zach Peter posted it, and I said, there's no way this is true. No way this is true. And then I believe we sent it in the group chat, and we just had discourse for like that was honestly the most popular the group chat has ever been.
I was recording with Zachary Reality, and we had just finished. Thank God, we had just finished, and he goes, "Ariana and Tom," and I was like, "What?"
Yeah,
and it was just because we didn't really know everything, and we were getting it piecemeal, and it just. I hate, that someone had to suffer because of it. Somebody's, but the entertainment value was endless. I feel like careers were started because of it. Careers were lost because of it. It just changed the dynamic of the Bravo universe. A show was lost because of it.
Yeah.
Like alliances were formed, lines were drawn in the sand.
Friendships ended.
It honestly, I don't think the Valley would be what it was if that hadn't happened.
Yeah.
Like just so much, it's like shifted. There was a shift in the Bravo universe when that happened. It's like the big one, in California, they talk about the big one. That was ours. That was the big one. I don't think there will ever be another. It was a perfect storm of stuff when it happened. And we have seen, the evolution of Ariana from it. I mean, she seemed to be suffering financially and now seems to be thriving. She's in a new relationship. And Tom has had a little bit of a redemption, I feel like, on the Traitors. But he has been able to fall. let's not say he's broke either, because he's been on
that boot camp show.
He was on the Special Forces. He's been on Traitors. Maybe there was something else. He started a podcast. He got some tour dates.
He did lose Schwartz and Sandy's.
That was going to happen. That was not because of Scandal.
Fair or not.
That was going to happen.
Yeah, he definitely kind of ended up falling for it. Traitors did. It was probably the best thing that he could have done for himself. And the editors did give him some favors. Like, if you just make Tom Sandoval look like a doofus, like, there's something a little bit likable to him. I will never like that man. So I was Chriselle on this season of Traitors. I would have written his name down regardless of if I thought he was a traitor or not.
That's funny. That's what she did.
Chriselle hated him.
I knew she did, but just the fact that if she went into every
she was like, I think you're a traitor.
table.
And I'm like, Chriselle, there's literally no reason for you to think that. Like, you just don't like this man.
I would be in confessional talking about, I'm just going to write his name down every single time because I can.
Like, she was like, and God, he did say one of the dumbest things ever. No surprise. He said, women are known to be better cheaters than men. He said that.
And I would have been like, that's what I would have written down on that. I would be like, I've run out of space. I need a second board because I want to quote this and say, for this reason and for this reason every time, I will vote for Tom Sandoval.
Like, insane.
Wow. Wow. He is who we thought he was.
He is who we thought he was.
I think the lesson to learn from these breakups is there's two themes. One, men suck. And two, the women always rise above it.
Yes.
And that when I look at this list, 20 names, 10 suck. I'm like looking at the best of this list, and I'm only giving it to Kelsey Grammer. And he obviously, that was awful what he did to Camille. I'm only giving it to Kelsey Grammer because I love Frasier.
Yeah. The Alexis and Jim is a wash.
It is they suck, and the women have bettered themselves after freeing themselves from the captivity of these awful men.
Yeah. Good for you guys, ladies. Never settle.
Never settle. Never settle. That is it for us guys here on Morally Corrupt. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for listening. Thank you for staying with us. Make sure you like, subscribe, share with a friend, our YouTube page. You can watch what we're doing and listen to what we're doing there. Also, remember, we're a video on platform now, Spotify, so you can listen and watch us there as well. We will see you guys on Friday, recapping all the shows of this week. Have a beautiful week, guys.